What up? What up? What up? It's Rec League Podcast, man. This is episode number 46. I appreciate you if you stuck with us this long, especially through this recent hiatus that I went on. Um, this episode, last episode, a return episode, it was a little big. Like, I think I crammed a lot into that episode. So this one is a little more compact. Um, we talk about recent news basically on the movie segment. My guys, E-Sig, Nick Goodman. Um, David Fincher made some comments that kind of blew up Twitter. We had a Marvel discussion. We had a couple Marvel discussions. And then the Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, Fantastic Beasts news. We get into a little bit of all of that and some other stuff. Sports, I'm going to react to the announcement that the NBA is already scheduled to return whenever next season is going to start. Bars. It's always bars. And then music is kind of sort of still up in the air. I'm going to record one thing to have it in the can, but if something else pops, then that will be the segment. So I can't commit just yet. I can finally, for the first time since March, say that Freaky, the Christopher Landon, Catherine Newton, Vince Vaughn horror slasher comedy is in theaters. And I don't remember the name of the Kevin Costner, Diane Lane movie where they're trying to go get their grandson from a crazy family. That is also in theaters. And recently on Blu-ray, DVD, 4K, whatever your format of choice is, Mulan, the live-action Mulan, like it got released on Disney Plus back in September. It's on Blu-ray and DVD now, 4K. Bill and Ted Face the Music is also available for physical purchase. This Tuesday, New Mutants comes out to purchase. And before the next podcast, The Irishman will get a Criterion edition. Is that the terminology? Something else comes out that day too. Now I can't think of what it is. But the Better Call Saul season 5. That's what it is. I'm still not we're not back into the full swing of things yet, so I'm not putting poll questions on the Twitter page and sharing those onto the Instagram or the Facebook. Find us on the socials. Speaking of, man, at Rec League Podcast, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, at Rec League Pod on Twitter. By now, I didn't say my name at the top. By now, y'all know my name. But like I said, when I come back, Nick Goodman, Eric Sigman, we gonna chop it up. It's Rec League Podcast. All right, man, we back. We got the usual suspects, man. My guy E-Sig, my guy Nick Goodman, who can't see us unless we talking. That's a Zoom joke. Last time I think I was so excited that we was back. I forgot to R.I.P. Sean Connery. Talk a little bit about Sean Connery, man. He passed away. The very first James Bond. I finally saw all his Bond movies, including Never Say Never Again for the first time. But I just want to talk about our favorite Connery movies right quick. I need to rewatch Entrapment, but mine is The Rock. I watched it. I come up with weird binges. Like Michael Bay had nothing to do with Bad Boys for Life besides a little cameo and maybe a producer credit. But I rewatched the first Bad Boys, so I rewatched the Michael Bay movies I hadn't seen or logged on Letterboxd. And The Rock was one of those, man. The Rock is so good. The only dude to escape from Alcatraz, Nicolas Cage, a geek scientist, and the only dude who can diffuse these chemicals. If Michael Bay has any perfect movies, the first Bad Boys and The Rock are those. Eric, what's yours? Last Crusade?
Now, mine has to be the movie that got him his Oscar, the Untouchables.
Nice.
So Brian De Palma movie, and which kind of put Kevin Costner on the map. But yeah, I think that's his
So it's Brian De
one
Palma's
of
fault
his
that
definitive
Goodfellas
performances.
lost.
And what'd you say, Randy?
My bad. It's Brian De Palma's fault that Goodfellas lost.
Is it now? Oh yeah, right. That's true. In a crazy 6 degrees type of way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you on The Rock. I mean, the dude is 66 years old in The Rock and a badass.
Oh, and what was that trivia that I shared with you guys? I think you said you had already saw it before I shared it. That he went into Disney, or he like punked Michael Bay or some shit on set, but he like also went in to Disney offices going to bat for like more money or something.
Yeah, something like that. Just flexing his muscle, his legendary muscle.
Yeah, Sean Connery was a badass, man. Nick?
Like, my favorite movie, like, just because I'm like a dork, like, it would probably be The Last Crusade, just because, like, that's the one I've watched
Not even mad.
the most. But it's like, I love The Rock. I loved Entrapment. I love The Hunt for Red October. I think an underrated movie with Sean Connery that, like, no one is really talking about because he wasn't really in it, that I loved when I was a kid, was Dragonheart.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like everyone has, like, forgotten that he was the voice of the dragon. And, like, I love that movie when I was a kid. Like, that movie wouldn't have been as good had he not been the voice. He was, it's like, it gave that so much more character. Like, it would have been, like, this run-of-the-mill, like, stupid 90s, like, fantasy movie. But it was so good. To me, as, like, a 6 or 7-year-old, however old I was.
Who was like the human lead? Was that Dennis Quaid?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's all, like, it's not good, but, like, it is. Like, it's just one of those movies. Like, it's so...
He brings that
highlighted.
nuance.
Yeah. It's like he just added the... It's like Eddie Murphy playing the dragon in Mulan. Like, it just, like, it's a whole different character in, like, this other movie that's, like, a completely different vibe. But I'd probably, just because Last Crusade, like, growing up, just watching Indiana Jones, like, nonstop.
We named the dog Indiana.
Yeah, like... But it's like, I don't know.
He was perfect
Sean
casting
Connery
as
was like-
Harrison Ford's dad.
Yeah, he's only like 6 years older than Harrison Ford or something, or like 12 years older. I forget. But like, Sean Connery was one of the first, like, growing up, he was like one of the celebrities that, like, my mom was in love with. Like, she would just always talk about Sean Connery. And, like, my parents loved that movie, The Medicine Man, which is another movie, like, no one talks about. Like, they loved that movie. They would watch it all the time. So I feel like, for, like, the first maybe, like, 10 years of my life, like, Sean Connery was everywhere. Like, he was all over the TV. He was in my mom's, like, stories.
How wild is it that he passed on Morpheus and Gandalf?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of I guess the fuse that would like the end of his career on his terms.
Yeah. But Gandalf had to be like, I don't even know the terminology, because he could have done Gandalf for Lord of the Rings. No way he was coming back for The Hobbit.
No.
Yeah,
Well, maybe. I don't know. Because it might have changed his, like... in my head, it was always like, he passed on those because he didn't really understand them.
Yeah.
And then, so he was like, well, fine, I'll do this Extraordinary Gentleman movie. Sounds great. And, like, it was. So then he, like, in my head, it was like, that movie was just a flop, so he quit. Like, he was like, you know what, I'm done. But, like, maybe if he had done Lord of the Rings, and it would have been, like,
still
the
churning.
success that it was, he'd have been like, I'm pretty good at this. I'm going to keep doing it. And then come back. But maybe not.
It was actually the opposite. He took the league, he said, because he didn't understand it.
Yeah.
That was after...
that actually makes
he
sense.
saw the hits that
the
Matrix and Lord of the Rings became. But
that's something I do.
I would be curious if he would have done the Matrix. That mean Morpheus would have been Neo would have been Will Smith.
Yeah.
It's like,
but probably not, because Will Smith turned it down. But that's what they were going for.
I can't even. It's like I
That's
can
so
picture
weird.
Sean Connery as Gandalf,
Easy.
and that would have been pretty great. I can't even like the whole like vibe of the Matrix would have been different had they changed the casting. Like,
Yeah.
either, not saying it would have been bad, probably would have been great, but it's like just like the Matrix how it is now. It's like I can't picture Sean Connery just doing that version of Morpheus like at all.
I can't imagine myself seeing the "What if I told you" in Sean Connery's voice.
Yeah.
What if I told you? I never
Yeah.
said. What if I told you?
What?
Well, actually, Lawrence Fishburne didn't say that either.
I know. That's why I just said what I said.
Nah. But yeah, it would have been interesting. But yeah, he just rode off into the sunset like most people of his generation do. They don't announce anything. They just, they just ride off. Like, it was fun.
But it's like Gene Hackman.
There you go, perfect example.
It's like say what you will about them retiring, like it sucked, but it's like they never did like The War with Grandpa.
Was his last movie Welcome to Mooseport?
It was.
Gene Hackman, man, it was, wasn't it?
Both of their last movies like sucked.
Yeah, but yeah, that age group, they just filmmaker Richard Donner, he just bounced.
He's trying to cook Lethal Weapon 5. He ain't bounced yet.
Yeah, I mean, that's been cooking.
Yeah.
That stove is burnt.
It's my favorite action franchise. I do not want Lethal Weapon 5.
Yeah.
He made a cameo on a Goonies charity like reunion or whatever, but yeah.
Robert Duvall he hasn't retired. He's still pretty busy. He's like 88, 89, something like that.
How many movies with Grandpa in the title has De Niro done now?
Like, one too many.
Yeah.
But then he'll cook Joker though. That Gene Hackman was trying to avoid doing.
But then he'll come with Joker or The Irishman or something that we love.
Yeah. Like, he's still probably like the best living actor.
Then he'll cash grab.
Like, he's taking all of those movies that come his way.
Yeah. But yeah, that sucks. Connery, man, he lived a full life that you can't.
Yeah, for sure.
You can only hope to live that long and be, healthy. And the cat seems to agree.
So I don't even see that.
I was gonna post. This has nothing to do with the podcast, but we're recording, so fuck it. I was gonna post the child and then a picture of her because she looks just like Yoda.
It's not Yoda.
No, fuck that. It's Yoda. Fuck you, Disney. It's Yoda.
It's the child, not Yoda.
I don't work at Spencer. I don't work at the Disney store. It's Yoda, baby. Before we get into The Mandalorian, though, we gotta show Alex Trebek some love too. And Nick gush over the greatest game show host of all time.
Yeah. I love Jeopardy. Like, even still, like, I feel like I love game shows. Like, I'm like part of that. Like, I like any new game show. I'm like, well, I'll check that out. But like, ever since I can remember, it's like I like Wheel of Fortune as much as anybody, but I don't ever remember like loving Wheel of Fortune. It's just like something you watch. But it's like I would like watch Jeopardy at 7:30. Like, it's like, oh, it's that time. It's like ever since I can remember, and it's always like, it's always been Alex Trebek. Like, it's one of the few game shows that has always had the same. And I don't know, he just few game show hosts that made it better. Like, he was the kind of the soul of the show. Like, if that host isn't good, if that host doesn't work, then the show doesn't work. Like, you can't flub your lines. You have to enunciate. You have to pronounce things right. Like, he was perfect at his job. And I don't know. I'm going to miss Alex Trebek. Like, I don't know. It's like one of those things. Like, what are they even going to do? Like, whatever they do is not going to be received well. Like, whoever they choose to succeed, he was just that good at his job. And he kept, like, I watched the 2020, like, retrospective thing on him that came on the next day, and it was just like, I think we were all texting each other like when he passed, and it was like,
Yeah.
oh, I just watched him on Friday, and that thing, it showed like, he was in a lot of pain. Like he was not doing well, obviously, and was just powering through it.
Yep.
Like it's crazy to think that we're losing these actors and all these people to prostate cancer, like how they're just like working through it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna miss Alex. Like I don't even have like a thing. Like it's gonna suck. Like not watching Jeopardy with Alex Trebek.
Yeah. Like that's the curse of whoever takes over. They'll never be Trebek.
Yeah.
No.
White Men Can't Jump will never be the same.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And what Ryan Reynolds said he did a cameo for Free Guy.
Oh, really?
He might have been in the most recent trailer.
About. It's like he stayed busy, and he was struggling through it. But I mean, I guess that was his way of keeping it together, was to just keep working,
trying to stay distracted from the pain.
Yeah. I know. I gotta recommend something that has something to do with both Sean Connery and Alex Trebek.
Here we go, man. You should just have a shirt, an SNL shirt, right quick.
But you know what? During that era, that's one of the best. People like to crap on SNL these days, but I think the Celebrity Jeopardy on SNL with Will Ferrell and as Trebek and Daryl Hammond as Sean Connery is some of the best television.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they portray, now first of all, Alex Trebek and Sean Connery have been reported to have loved the depiction of these characters. They got a kick out of it. And Trebek actually said he was upset that Will Ferrell didn't play him more exaggerated. Because Will Ferrell actually plays him straight if you watch those sketches. And he just delivers the funny lines. But they portrayed Sean Connery, Daryl Hammond, as like this lewd, rude, and it's hilarious. Like Will Ferrell, like, Sean Connery, you have negative 69 points, and Daryl Hammond, like, 69 is how I scored it with your mother. And it's now that's just, if you haven't seen that, y'all gotta check that out. But yeah, it's
that's like one of the few SNL sketches where it's like I can't think of like a bad one. Like of all the Celebrity Jeopardy SNLs I've seen, like I can't think of one that isn't funny. It's kind of like Weekend Update. Like it's like the thing. Like if there's a Celebrity Jeopardy, like that's gonna be the funny sketch of the. Like this will be good. That and then like the ones with Burt Reynolds too.
Yeah.
Weird that they're all dead now in real life. Like, that's just weird.
Like, yeah, it is. That's nuts. But now, like you said, Nick, you were touching on something. Like when I assume you were talking specifically about these actors powering through these celebrities like Chadwick Boseman and Trebek, and it's horrible that they passed away. But in the glass half full type of way, you want to look at the inspiration that they give to keep fighting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To keep pushing through, and I guess Randy, you could share a thing or two.
I can't share shit. Like I've said on the show, like I don't want to cut you off, but
no, it's all good.
but like I've said on the pod, I had cancer. They caught the tumor on a Tuesday, took it out on a Friday. I didn't go through shit.
But you pretend you did.
It's not my style.
It's 3 days, 4 days. I'm sure were pretty freaking frightening.
No, like they were scary for my wife. They were scary for my wife and maybe like family, friends that I told. I didn't let myself process it. I still haven't. I've never like sat back and was just like, fuck, like I had a tumor in my bladder.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's weird. Like I'm not wired to like get emotional over myself. It's just the cards I was dealt, and I get checked every 3 to 6 months now.
Right, there we go. And yeah, that could have been. We're definitely glad you're here. But yeah, it's But yeah, Mom. But no,
For
just
sure.
keep pushing through. Yeah, that's nuts. And But yeah, and Trebek, when he made the announcement, and that's still, you look
Yeah.
back at that, that's a real emotional video.
Yeah, like him,
Yeah,
Roman
yeah.
Reigns, like everybody found out about Chadwick after he passed, but yeah, shit
Right.
sucks.
Yeah, I hate that. It's been a thing now the last few years, and I guess this is probably like selfish to say, but it's like I hate that, like when a celebrity, like, which it's their right. Like I'm not saying like they should. But I like hate when like Kelly Preston, like no one knew she had breast cancer, and then like I woke up one day and checked the news, and she was just gone.
Yeah.
And like I hate that. Like I understand why they do it, and they should continue to do so if that's how they want to. But I hate it so much. Like I can't. Like David Bowie was the same way. Like it was just like, wait, huh?
Like David Bowie, which is interesting enough, he made that last video, the music video, while he was sick, and try watching that. Without getting
bizarre. Yeah, and like I remember that, and there'd be like, also he has a new album, and here's his last video, and it was like, wait, what? Like I remember just hating that.
Man, it's a celebrity. They got to find some kind of stitch of private life. It sucks for the fan, but I'm not mad at it.
Yeah,
right. But even Bozeman, I'm sorry, Nick. But even Bozeman, to the fact that nobody, even Marvel, they were pushing along with Black Panther 2. I'm like, man, they didn't tell anybody.
Yeah, I remember he posted that video, and we talked about it.
Yeah,
I remember we specifically talked wow, he looks rough. Get that Oscar. Like we didn't think anything of it. Like we were just like, oh.
Yeah, I was just assuming it was for the Five Blood.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, he got that.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he must, get sick in that movie or something. Like we were just like, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hate it. I get why they do it, and they should totally keep doing it. Like I get it. I'd probably do that. But like,
it was even to the point that a lot of people didn't even know he was married.
No, yeah, he did. He was a pretty private guy.
Yeah,
that sucked.
Like little sidetrack right quick though, super good on Marvel for coming out and squashing those Black Panther 2 hologram rumors or whatever. Like I hate that social media flares up the most insane rumors that actual companies have to come out and kill that shit.
Right.
It's almost like it's not even rumors anyway. It's sometimes people will just start rumors, and then you got people making fake posters and doing shit just saying wrong information. They aren't even I heard that they are considering this or that. They're just Chadwick Boseman's being recast immediately and all this stuff. And it's they aren't making these announcements yet. They did the same thing when Paul Walker died. It was no, they're just using his brother. His brother's gonna play Brian now. And it was where did you hear? You're just making
a piece of these.
Yeah.
These meetings, these leaks come out, and they hear little tidbits of the meeting, and they trying to put them out there as fact. Then
it's somebody will post some shit, and then I always a fandom or a heroic Hollywood or what discussing film or whatever that page is. That's the one I can't think of. But they'll blow it up, and then everybody will run with that shit. It's bro, wait until Warner Brothers or Disney or Paramount or whoever the fuck actually makes a statement.
Yeah, it's they aren't even. It's the day after someone passes away, they are not thinking of what are we gonna do about Black Panther 2?
Furious 7, Universal and Furious 7 might have been the most appropriate way to press on with that specific movie.
And and I was thinking recently-ish, is I don't know, in terms of what to do in a Black Panther 2. Everyone knows he passed away. Everyone knows he died. So I don't know. There's a part of me that thinks they're gonna have to pass the mantle somehow. It's just I just think whatever they do, I feel we will be okay. I don't think they're gonna do anything disrespectful. But it's you look at the Star Wars, and they've made CGI people for certain scenes, actors that have passed away. It's never been tasteless. They do it, in a way that's no, that was very necessary. So I feel even if Marvel does something like that, just for the sake of the story, feel like we're okay. I feel like we'll get over it. Like,
Leia
we'll
in
be
those
like,
last two
what?
movies was pretty good.
Yeah, like it doesn't need to be a whole movie with a CGI
Yeah.
Chadwick Boseman, but I feel like whatever they do, like I trust them enough that it's like, you know, it'll be fine. Like we all know he passed away. Like we're not gonna be like, wait, this is fake.
That's not really Chadwick.
Yeah, wait,
like,
what? Did he like? So there's gonna be somebody who'd be like, wow, he filmed all of this before he died. That's crazy.
Let me see.
But
I have sort of a list. It's like in and out. I'm gonna swap in and out of order. I'm not gonna talk about it in the order that it's in. But the first thing, like, we might as well tackle this Johnny Depp fiasco, because from what I like, this whole thing is weird to me. Obviously, we know that Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, made the Rum Diary, got married, beat each other up, and now it's a media circus. But what is weird to me is like Johnny Depp sued this magazine and lost, and then Warner Brothers recast him. Or do we think that they made the decision to recast him before all this, and just the timing of that announcement coincided with him losing that legal thing?
yeah.
And Amber Heard saying they have no basis to recast Mira in Wonder Woman 2. If I was Warner Brothers, I would fire her just for being that arrogant.
Yeah.
Nick doesn't want to talk about it.
No, it's
I don't want
you
to
know
talk about it
something
for a
funny
long
about
time.
this? What's that, Randy?
I don't want to spend like 40 minutes on it.
No, I'm gonna say it like this. My opinion on the whole situation is jacked up. I think if you're gonna do, it's a real bad example, firing one and not the other. And you know, in this situation, even if they had fired, what's her name, the actress?
Amber Heard.
Amber Heard. Even if they had fired her and let Johnny Depp keep his job, I would have been saying, probably fire Johnny Depp.
Yeah, he's got to go too. Like, didn't production on Pirates 5 get delayed because she cut his finger off, like the tip of his finger?
It's not funny. I'm not.
He's just laughing over there. But let me tell you something that's you know, for our awesome audience listening, situations like that is kind of jacked.
Yeah.
And in Hollywood, I guess you have I don't know if this applies to it, the Me Too thing. But it seems from the little stuff that did come out, I don't know, it just seemed like it was just a horrible relationship and they both should have just walked away.
Yeah, it sounds like it was toxic from Jump Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no pun intended, Johnny Depp. But
I didn't even pick up on that. I'm sorry.
But yeah, but the horrible thing is, there's a possibility, you know, whenever there's a male being the abuser in a relationship, you know, they get accused, no question, blah, blah, blah. But usually when it goes the other way, and there's a female who's accused of being something, it's something to it. Nobody believes them and this and that. And I think that's, you know, it's kind of unfair.
Yeah.
And, you know, actually, you know, it's easy to convince people by lying than it is to convince people by telling the truth these days when it comes to that type of relationship. And, you know, the whole thing, you wish they would just cut it off, but it didn't. So it's somewhere in the middle where they're both probably telling the truth to some degree, but then again, one side is probably this and that, but it's all jacked up. And yeah, Warner Brothers they have to fire her. That's my opinion.
Nick froze.
To make this, because yes, it's a really bad example, and another actual abusive female. Hey, look what I can get away with.
It's wild that Warner owns both properties that they're on.
Yeah, and then that's the whole another reason. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry, Nick.
Oh no, I'm one of the few people. It's like you get on Facebook, there's a lot of people like sharing like the I stand with Johnny Depp and all that shit, like Spartacus. Like, I'm one of the few people that like kind of understands like Warner Brothers position, to me, so it's been like 4 years since all these allegations like first started coming to light. It was like around the time the second Alice in Wonderland came out, if I'm not, because I remember seeing that and then talking about it, like, but I remember like even that like was not a hit and people blamed it on that. Like they were like, well, maybe it's because Johnny Depp is in this hot water. So it's like, to me, just like, woman comes forward, has allegations about this or that. To me, that person gets the benefit of the doubt immediately. That's just how it is. It's like, well, what reason do I not have to believe them? She has pictures of, her face looking shitty. He comes back, says this or that, this or that. He has proof about this or that, this or that. So, like, it's like you said, to me, it just looks like, from an outside perspective, it's like, wow, y'all should have just kept this to yourself and realized that you're both pretty trash.
Yeah.
It's like there's so many people that are, like, feel like they're being forced to pick one side or the other. Like, Johnny Depp fans are like, I stand with Johnny. And I'm like, it's obvious they were both, like, really trash. Like, they're clearly, and, like, I don't want to, clearly both alcoholics.
Yeah.
Clearly both, like, drinking and, like, beating the shit out of each other and arguing, like, every day. I've seen this in real life. Like, it's not, like, so, like, if I'm Johnny Depp, I'm not going to sue some British tabloid. Like, who cares? Like, to me, that was, like, such a mistake.
Yeah, take care of your house first.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you have so much money. So now you're losing money, you're losing work, your reputation is taking a hit. Like, who cares, like, what some tabloid says? Like, nobody reads the tabloids. I mean, they do, but, like, they don't. So
yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
the
we'll get into that
ego
in a
thing at work.
Yeah. I mean, like, to me, right now, like, where Warner Brothers is, like, they know if they fire Amber Heard, they're going to have just as much of a shitstorm, if not more, than they did for getting rid of Johnny Depp. Everyone's like, why would they do this? It makes perfect sense that they would do it. Like, the last Fantastic Beasts movie didn't make nearly as much money as all the Harry Potter movies, and everyone blamed that on Johnny Depp. Like, it's just fact. They did. Like, he was the face of that movie. And they were like, could it be that this is the most problematic series in film with J.K. Rowling and Ezra Miller was, like, choking people? Like, people are just not wanting to see these movies.
Hey, but that reveal at the end, I can't wait for the third one.
Yeah, like, I was just saying, people are like, well, I'm going to boycott part 3. And I was like, it sounds like you boycotted part 1 and 2. Like, nobody saw them. It sounds like you didn't go see them.
Let me ask y'all this. I didn't check. If either one of y'all know, is Amber Heard involved with the Snyder cut of Justice League?
Yeah.
I think she is.
Like, yeah, that's where a lot of it coming, because I think she was added into it. And then, like, she's supposed to be an Aquaman too. And so, and then, of course, she goes on and says, well, these have no basis in reality. Like, people, online petitions don't determine casting. And I'm like, well, actors don't determine casting either.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm her, I'm Zip. If I'm her agent, whoever.
She probably knows she has that however many movie deal and she's feeling herself.
Yeah. It's like, if I'm her agent, I'm telling her to, like,
shut the fuck up.
I'm not, like, 100,000% like anti-Amber Heard. I'm not, like, on that train. Like, I'm at the point now where I don't really care because, like I said, it's so obvious that they're both just, like, garbage. At least when around one another. Like, I don't know anybody else saying that they've met Amber Heard and hate her.
That they're bad people in general.
You know, like, just together, you're just, it was bad. It was toxic. It was gross. Like, you should be able to realize that and break it off yourself. Like, be like, you know what? We get angry and we throw phones at one another. And, like, that's not normal. We should break up. And the other person should be like, you're right. I don't like, cutting off your fingers.
It hurt me when the phone hit my face. We should break up.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't normal. But they didn't have the capacity to do that. It's like this, I've seen that. I've been involved in things, not to that extent, but it's like I've, been with people that it's like, ooh, yeah, no. So it's like, that's how I see it. It's just like, from an outside perspective, it's like, they both should have just minded their own business. And now I feel like in the long term, their reputations are just going to take irrevocable hit.
Mm-hmm.
But Mads Mikkelsen.
Yes, I'm glad you said that because I was about to move on. Who should be like? How do we feel about the Mads rumors? Because apparently Colin Farrell's too busy with the Batman. Eric,
I mean,
no,
what do you think
I
about
didn't see the
Lashif?
second Fantastic Beast, so I'm not even sure what reveal you're referring to, but I think
Did you see
Matt is
the
a good
second one?
actor. I like him. I don't.
Did you see the Crimes of Grindelwald?
Like, the second Fantastic Beast movie was not that good.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't bad, but
I
it
need
was
to
like
rewatch
to me
it.
just not
I liked it.
like the first one wasn't that good, but I kind of enjoyed it. Like it was like kind of fun.
Yeah,
its
like I
own
thought
way.
the first one was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the first one was like fun and breezy. The second one was I just like when I have not watched the second one since the theater.
Neither
And
of
like when I think about it, like it was just like people talking.
Yeah.
Like I just think of Johnny Depp walking in like a circle and explaining the plot for like 20 minutes
with blue lights
instead of doing something.
And you
Like just
see,
exposition.
you really see the difference between. Have any of you ever read the Harry Potter books?
No.
Yeah.
Who reads?
Like, yeah.
And the thing with the movies, I only saw the first movie. You see the difference between an author writer and a screenwriter writer. And J.K. Rowling, you know, whatever she's getting into, I think she's a good author. I don't think she's a good screenwriter of movies. And that came through at
You've only
You
seen
already
the
read-
Sorcerer's Stone. You haven't seen any other Harry Potter.
No, ain't the Fantastic Beast.
Oh, okay. Whew.
I didn't. No, I saw all of Harry Potter, so
Whoa.
I think I said that wrong. But no, I didn't see the second Fantastic Beast movie. I saw the first one, and I was saying, like Nick was saying, authors tend to over-explain because they write books.
Yeah.
And you can tell she kind of gets caught up in that with her screenplays. You know, screenplays is mostly direction, dialogue, and she.
I forgot she did.
You can tell she kind of finds, at least with the first movie, Fantastic Beasts, the balance is kind of uneven in that movie.
Yeah. It's really uneven in the second movie.
But it's
Yeah.
like
Second
Newt
movie
Scamander.
was all dialogue. Like, that's what I remember. Like, I just remember it being, like, all just talking and, like, explaining things instead of them just happening. I guess maybe I'm not explaining it well, but it was just, like, all exposition, like, non-stop.
Yeah. That's
Like,
the author
girl
mentality.
turns into a snake, and then it's like, I'm going to explain to you for a half hour why she is a snake. It's just like, ugh.
But Jude Law is
Yeah.
Dumbledore.
Jude Law as Dumbledore was the best part of that movie, from my
Yes.
memory. And like Johnny Depp, I remember thinking was good.
Yeah.
Like he was like cool as that character, but it was like, I just remember him like walking around and like talking. Like they were like in like the stadium or wherever, and like watching him, and he was just like talking, and I was like, wait, aren't they there to like do something to him? Why don't they just do it? And they're like, shh.
I think like
He's talking.
I think my letterbox complaint was like they didn't really focus on any supposed crimes of Grindelwald. He was just
Yeah.
there.
He just talked too much. Like that
That's
was
the title, the subtitle of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's a crime. Lock me up. Like he was talking. And then Ezra Miller's character was like not interesting. Like I hate to like, I don't know. People love that guy. His character
Credence.
like he's like the focus of the movie. He's like Anakin or something. Like he's like, oh, this character's gonna be something. Like I did not give a shit like the entire movie. And at the end, there's like this little reveal. Like it's like who cares? Like I blame that on J.K. Rowling. Like she in her head thought that these ideas were great.
Yeah, you got it. Not.
Like, look at the Harry Potter family tree. Like he doesn't need to be this person's this person. Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah. I can only
Maybe it'll be
assume
better.
she's writing the third movie, right?
Who cares?
They better not
I was
market
gonna say,
that
like,
shit.
Warner Brothers were smart. They would fire her. Like she seems to be the more problematic person.
Yeah, I tell you who the winner is in all of this is David Yates.
Oh yeah, he's still getting banged.
That dude directed how many Harry Potter related movies?
That's what I was gonna say too. Like Johnny Depp got a bag for it. Like, he still got to get paid. He got a buttload of money.
He got paid like $10 million, something like that. I heard he got paid for the third movie.
He got fat cash. So he's not even gonna be in it.
Oh yeah, pay to play. It's Johnny Depp.
Yeah, I heard he got paid more than Eddie Redmayne, who is like doing insane. The entire movie.
Don't let me run a studio.
Definitely.
A bigger star is not getting paid more than the face of the movie.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's like Downey Jr. and
Spider-Man.
Homecoming.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
he got paid literally $1 million a minute.
Where we at? Real quick, not nearly as quick as all of this. It was. I think Zack Snyder said that had he put Catwoman in a movie, that Carla Gugino was gonna be his Catwoman. That's kind of perfect.
That's his girl.
Yeah. She did the voice of like the ship in Superman. She's been in like all his movies since Watchmen.
Yeah, I've read that, and I read that, and I was like, Carla Gugino, and then it's like I pictured it.
For Ben Affleck, I love that.
Yeah, it was like the meme of the girl like drinking the tea, like.
Yeah.
I was like, wait. No.
Yeah, for me it was always Kate Beckinsale, but yeah, like Carla Gugino was a really good choice too.
It's like you immediately think like when it's Catwoman, you think it's because we're men, I don't know, but you think like how are they gonna look in the suit? Like what are they gonna do? You're not just like how's the acting gonna like? You're just not. You're like what's the performance? That's sick. You're thinking how are they gonna look in the suit? So that was the Carla Gugino. I was like.
Yeah.
Like,
man, we get beat up with that like unfairly. Women do that too, man. Looking at The Rock and Idris Elba.
We do it with all. You say who's such and such going to be Batman? Like you're not thinking like, wow. You're immediately like, how are they going to look in like Robert Pattinson? Like, is he going to look cool in the suit? I feel like that's why people were like, I don't know, because they were like, I can't picture him in the suit.
Yeah.
He'll probably give a good performance, but I can't picture him in the suit. So it's like Catwoman. It's like Zoe Kravitz. You're like,
yes,
I could picture that. I could see that. So, yeah, they should have done that. Maybe they'll do it. She'll be like a Ben Affleck aged Catwoman. That would make sense.
Yeah, exactly. Then, just yesterday, James Gunn confirmed that in some capacity, Sylvester Stallone's gonna be in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
But, like, they didn't say who he's playing.
No.
Like, at all.
He could just be a bystander on the street corner. I don't care.
Yeah. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's probably just going to be, like, some guy.
That's dope that Rocky
that's awesome.
Rambo is going to be a character in both cinematic comic book movie universes.
Yeah, so... And I think if anybody's going to do something awesome with a really minor role with Sylvester Stallone, is James Gunn. I mean, even in Guardians 2, as small as Stallone's role, it was very vital.
Yeah.
To another character's, arc.
The movie's 3 years old.
I think that was pretty.
Just say Yondu.
What was that?
It was Yondu.
Yeah. The movie's 3 years old. It was Yondu. The movie's been on TNT already.
Yeah, that's true. God dog, yeah. The spoiler thing is fast.
The statute of limitations is like a year and a half.
There we go. But yeah, it's I can't wait. I'd rather it be a secret for what he's gonna do. I'm sure it's gonna be something pretty cool.
Hell yeah. Everything else I had was like Eric flaming that dude about Die Hard being a Christmas movie, David Fincher, and then the MCU Phase 1 thing.
Something, I mean, I don't know, maybe you edit around it or not. So they did just announce that Chris Pratt is going to be in
Thor
Love and Thunder, but that's about
as he should be.
It's like
I saw.
Like we have no thoughts.
I think I saw. See, like, I hate seeing shit on Grace Randolph's page because I can never like take that shit at face value. but I mean, she be right sometimes. That it was Star-Lord, Groot, and Rocket were gonna be like pivotal in Love and Thunder.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm so excited. I'm as excited for that as I am, like, the Spider-Man stuff that's coming out. Just because the Spider-Man stuff seems like it's still, like, they don't know what they're doing. Like, at least they're like, well, maybe. Like, we'll figure it out as we go.
Right.
Like, I know Taika Waititi is doing something amazing with Thor.
Yeah.
Like, I know that's
For
going to
sure.
be so good.
I want, like, as, like, WandaVision, Spider-Man 3, Doctor Strange, like, all happen and, like, remold the multiverse or whatever is gonna happen. I want, like, collateral damage to just randomly happen in Thor or whatever other movie Shang-Chi is coming and just, like, remold in mid-movie and they have no idea what's going on.
And, like, so much of it is, like, it's like you think of X-Men, how they did, like, the time travel and the multiverse, all that, and they used it to fix their old movies and, like, old mistakes. And, like, Deadpool did, like, the time travel thing to, like...
And then they made new ones.
You know.
Yeah, then they
like,
kept it back up.
Like, the MCU doesn't really have to do that. Like, they don't really have any, like, mega missteps that they need to go back and, like, correct.
No.
So that just makes it more, like, exciting to me. It's like, well, what are they going to do with all of this, like, mumbo jumbo? Like, they're just going to use it to, like, hopefully just go nuts.
Yeah, as they should. I mean, why the hell not at this point?
Just, I mean, unless they go back and, like, I don't know. I mean, like, they could do anything. Like, with the multiverse stuff, it's like, in my head, I'm like, you could bring Edward Norton back for a cameo if you wanted to do it. Like, you could just do, like, whatever and just explain it away. Just be like, I don't know. That would be crazy. They won't.
It was Kevin Feige also said the WandaVision coming out in January, that if anybody just wanted to randomly watch it, they could. But, like, fans who have been with the MCU for the whole ride are just going to have, like, all these, like, payoffs and just, like, cool, I don't know, like, Easter eggs and shit.
It's just like The Mandalorian. It's just like that. Like, you could watch it on its own and it makes sense. It's great. But, like, it's like my dad is watching The Mandalorian right now. And, like, every week we talk about it. He loves it. He thinks it's great. But Randy, have you guys both watched the whole thing? Like,
I caught up last night. Before I went to bed, I watched episode 3. Did you put your Twitter thing, like, that episode, like, blew your mind because of Katie Sackhoff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, like, I knew she was in the show, and, like, I had a feeling she was playing that person, but, like, it was never really confirmed, so it was just kind of, like, in the air. So, like, as soon as she showed up, I was, like, freaking out. And I, like, text my dad, and I did the same thing, like, with the dark saber and all that. Like, I was like, oh my god, look, because I watched all the, like, cartoon shit. He had no idea what any of that was, but he still loved it anyway. Like, he was like, oh yeah, that was cool. Like, yeah, she was badass. I was like, no, you don't understand. So I feel like that's what WandaVision is going to be. Like, you can probably watch it, but there's going to be little things that, like, are like,
holy shit, that's from the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, she tore a hole in the whatever, and now there's a whatever. Like, we're going to just, like, know it.
See, I imagine, like, this goofy-ass, like, sitcom for, like, 7 episodes, and then the season finale, she realizes, like, everything's in her head, and then she does one of those, like, Charlize Theron, Mad Max, drop to her knees, screams so hard that she fucks everything up, and then the movies have to fix it.
Yeah. I think so. I just, like, I'm hoping that they have some kind of, like, consequences in the movies. Like, things that happen in the show, maybe not too hard, but, like, things that happen in the show will still be, because it's like the Netflix Marvel shows, as great as those were, really didn't have anything to do with the movie. Like, they didn't. That was
a one-sided relationship.
Yeah, like, the movies affect the shows, but the show.
Yeah, like, they were just like, what about the green guy?
Yeah.
Like, they didn't even, like, name him. Like, they were just like, the flag waver, he's cool, and then that was that.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping, there's stuff. It's like The Mandalorian. Like, there's clearly things from the movies that are affecting the show. So,
Yeah,
we'll
like,
see.
as I
And it's
break
good
down,
to see. Oops, sorry, Randy.
my bad. Like as I break down how I hope the show plays out, I fully expect like Doctor Strange to like do one of his Avengers Infinity War at the very end. Wanda, come on, we have to clean up your mess.
Come on, it's your kids.
Yeah,
You gotta do something about your kids.
straight like that.
Let's see.
Oh man.
Wait till January.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how I was convinced that shit was coming out like Thanksgiving week.
Yeah. I don't hate that though. For
No.
like the last like 3 years, I've been like wanting to not be busy at Christmas time, like watching stuff. And so like now that there's no movies coming out, I'm like complaining. Like, last year I was like watching all the Jumanjis and like all the Star Wars and all that, like preparing for like new stuff, and I was just like, God, I wish I could just relax. It's like now I'm gonna have nothing to do. Just wonder
Well, how about this? I don't know. Did you have this to talk about, Randy?
Maybe.
Supposedly, Warner Brothers, we mentioned them, is going back and forth what they should do with Wonder Woman 84.
Oh yeah, I don't care
know.
about that until they make a decision. I'm gonna see it either way.
Yeah.
It's not coming out Christmas.
Yeah, it's not coming out Christmas for sure, but
No way.
Do you think they'll do the? Does anybody have HBO Max?
I do.
All
I have it for
right.
free.
So do you think they'll do the Disney Plus, and if they indeed bring it on HBO Max, they'll do the surcharge?
No.
if I
There's
was
no way.
them, like I was it like AT&T's like really like running the show. They're pushing for the limited run HBO Max thing, and Warner themselves wants June. Sure.
Yeah.
But
I don't think they're gonna risk. It's like you said. Like I don't know that many people with HBO Max. I'm surprised they did it with the widgets, to be honest.
but that
I
wasn't
think
an extra fee, was it?
Do what?
Was that an extra fee? Like, hey, here's a brand new
No.
movie. So
No,
neither was
it
American
free
Pickle.
on there, but like, you know, that was supposed to come out in theaters,
Yeah.
and like it just didn't. I don't know that many people with HBO Max. I don't think they're risking that, even with an extra fee. I don't know. I don't think they're risking that with Wonder Woman. Maybe
Right.
some other movies, like almost for sure some other movies. It's like I feel like everybody's like weighing, like Disney or weighing their options with other stuff. I don't think they're ever putting Black Widow on Disney Plus. Maybe Free Guy. I can see that going straight
Yeah.
to Hulu or Disney Plus or whatever.
I think the thing with Wonder Woman is it's
It's a
you know,
$1 billion
skewed.
property.
What's that?
It's a $1 billion property.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's kind of speaks to my point. It'll be like you know, for lack of a better phrase, but it's no better when I think Russian roulette. You know, you can spin the chamber, don't do the surcharge, and you'll get more subscribers, right?
Yeah.
Or you can do the surcharge and scare more people away. I
Yeah.
think that's what they're probably battling
Right,
with. But
right.
yeah.
Yeah, there's so many
That's
people bitched
what it
about Mulan, but supposedly Disney Plus got so many new subscribers.
Yeah, they're celebrating the 1 year anniversary with the chest out.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that's I was curious what y'all thought about that. That's a big deal.
I think it goes to June. There's just too much money involved.
Yeah.
I think so. I just think, like, everybody, you know, says this and they say that, they say this, but, like, people like the theater experience. Like, it's a fact.
Yeah.
Like, money talks. Movies make $1 billion because people want to go see them in the theater.
How about this one? What's the last thing we all saw in the theater?
Freaky.
Oh, I saw Freaky on Friday.
Yeah, I saw Freaky last night.
On Friday.
Yeah.
Shout out to Vince Vaughn.
Sorry.
I'm still laughing at that shit.
Oh yeah.
That was a great movie. Now, like, that's the kind of movie. It's like, you know, I trekked to the theater to go see that. I would have watched Freaky at home.
Yeah.
Had it come out like on Friday to rent. Like, I would have watched that.
I would have rented it.
It's like, if I had the choice, you know, Wonder Woman, I'm trying to see like in IMAX. I'm trying to see that in
Fuck yeah.
Big
the
format.
loudest, biggest theater. and just like lose myself. Like I'm not trying to be on my phone while I watch Wonder Woman, like or Black Widow, or James Bond. Like
I
all those
rented the
movies.
Tax
It's like I'm trying
Collector.
to zone out.
I
will
rented the
give you
Tax
my
Collector,
money
man. I'm renting
to,
freaky.
But if they do come out to rent, like I'll do it. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm crying about it, but like I'll still rent it.
Let me break it off. Save this shit before we get into Fincher. Yeah, man, we can close out talking about this quote unquote chaos that David Fincher caused. He didn't even really cause nothing. Or like we could say, because the next episode is still gonna be in November, and I don't know what the December episode dates are yet. I kind of want to say the Die Hard thing. Like I want to find like 2-3 randoms so we can have like a civil discussion on Die Hard being a Christmas movie. But if y'all follow Eric on Twitter, Sigma Cinema, he replied to some shit on IMDb and then flamed this dude who thought he had a good counterpoint. It was hysterical. And then like, cause I have like the mentality of like a 3-year-old. I posted that GIF reaction and got like 4 likes. It was very entertaining.
Yeah, I got like 10 likes now.
Yeah. Like that whole discussion like caught a little attention. And then I don't know. We could talk about the Iron Man 2 thing. What y'all want to do?
Yeah, or it's the Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3 thing.
Yeah. That's what I said. Definitely. Can't edit that in post.
Let's discuss that Iron Man thing. Nick wants to talk about that.
I'll talk about that all day.
All day.
Nobody agrees with me. To me, Iron Man 2 is my least favorite MCU movie. I don't think it's it might be other people's, but like everyone always says like Iron Man 3 I think has the reputation of being the worst, or at least one of the worst. Like I don't know. I love them all. Like when I saw Iron Man 2 in the theater, I remember walking out thinking it was just like the best shit. Like I was like, oh my god, that was so great. Just like anytime I do a full run through of all the movies, that's the one that like drags the most for me. Whereas Iron Man 3 does not. When I watch, to me, Iron Man 3 is more big picture, like more entertaining. And even the twist. I think the twist, in terms of the movie, I think the twist works. Like in terms of how entertaining it is and how it works in the movie's favor. It's just like as a comic book fan, it's like, that wasn't that great. Versus what y'all advertised, versus what we got, that was not that great. But like in terms of the story, I think it works. I think it's like pretty cute. It's a pretty cute plot twist. But that's just me. I don't know. Other people seem to disagree with me. That's okay.
And this and the thing is, you could not like one aspect of a movie and still like the movie. People are taking the twist and saying because of the twist, it's the worst movie.
Yeah.
And like, come on, it's just because you didn't like the twist. And like I said, the reason I love the twist is because, you know, all these big tentpole movies, all the crap they give away in the trailers and the commercials. And when you see the movie, not only do you get the twist, but you also get a whole new set of villains with powers you didn't know anything about.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. They didn't give any of that away. And people are just hanging on a twist with, and, you know, give Ben Kingsley his credit. I mean, that was a fun thing. When the reveal happened, that was a funny.
That's a performance.
Yes. How could you not like the what did he call it? The Christmas protocol, whatever, with all the Iron Man suits at the end. Yeah. Come on, somebody can honestly tell me that they didn't like that set piece.
My only thing is like that happened at the end, and it was like, wow, way to go. And then Age of Ultron came out, and it was just like, oh, never mind. Fuck it, whatever.
Yeah. They just funny. And plus the airplane scene with him rescuing. I mean, come on, had some of the best set pieces.
So good.
And I would have liked Marvel Studios blocked it, but them to dive deeper into his PTSD and alcoholism, but they still went with the PTSD, which was cool.
And some people, like, I've seen people say that they don't like the whole thing, like, with the little kid.
Oh, yeah.
I like the thing with the little kid. Like, I don't. It's like it brings him down to. It's like it brings him down to earth a little bit.
I hate that motherfucker.
Focusing on all this, crazy shit that happened in Avengers. It's like it brings him down to,
yeah,
earth. I don't want it to sound like I'm making a pun, but it's like it kind of centers him in reality a little bit and realizes like loves Pepper so much and blah 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 blah. Like, to me, Iron Man 2 is just like Iron Man 2 is a good movie, but it's like so much of Iron Man 2 is like world building, where it was like
it's
they
just
kind of realized like, oh, okay, so we're gonna have to follow through with everything that we promised the first time. So a lot of it is like we have to have Samuel Jackson in there more. It's like we have to give Scarlett Johansson like ample screen time.
Yeah, they
set this up. We have to do this. And in the long run, it's kind of like, oh, we have to have a villain in there that I can make you work. Why not?
Yeah, who was wasted, and even my boy, what's his name? Hammer.
Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, and his character was kind of wasted. It was just too much they threw in a pot, but when the action happened, the action was good. It's a mess of a movie, but it's entertaining. But it even made Jon Favreau take a step back as far as being a filmmaker for the company. And even so much so, it made Favreau like question his career. He made an entire movie that was a metaphor on his career because of this, which is a great movie, Chef. But
yeah, it was a great movie.
But yeah, Randy, why you so quiet? What say you?
Oh, I mean, I'm just waiting for my turn, baby. I know I be interrupting y'all, so I'm trying to shut the fuck up and let y'all talk. Yeah. To piggyback off of the Jon Favreau thing, I think he got thrown into the fire. We got to make Iron Man 2 as fast as possible. He made Chef. Chef is one of the most underrated movies over the past 10 years. But every movie he's made since Iron Man 2 has still been for Disney, and he's the the lead brain creative dude behind The Mandalorian. Like, he's still getting them Disney checks. To me, I'm not saying Iron Man 2 is good. It's entertaining as hell. And I think it's a good movie aside from the stupid fight with him being drunk at the party and Rhodey leaving with that suit. I thought that part was dumb. But the rest of it was fine. Yeah, like they were convinced, like, yeah, like we have a universe now, like we got to do this. I laughed earlier, like I wasn't laughing at y'all specifically. I was thinking of I Loved You in A Christmas Story. Specifically, that part was funny as fuck.
Yeah.
I'd like the trailers for Iron Man 3, like, man, like I need Javon back on here because we talk about this all the time. Like, we always talk about the MCU and we always take it back to how heartbroken we were over Iron Man 3. The trailers for Iron Man 3 were so good. My wife, multiple times in the theater, was like, I don't want to see that one. They're going to kill Iron Man. Iron Man's going to die in Iron Man 3. Like, Ben Kingsley killed it so much that right after The Dark Knight Rises, you got the trailers for Iron Man 3, and everybody's doing the Mandarin voice like they were doing the Bane voice. Like I told y'all in the DMs on Twitter, they could have had him be such a menacing villain that they could have revealed that he was behind the original Iron Man with the 10 rings, snatching him up and mixing it in with Jeff Bridges and having Tony abducted, and in a Dark Knight trilogy sort of way, connecting that whole trilogy, bringing that whole shit full circle. And the extremists, like Guy Pearce is a good actor. I didn't like him as Aldrich Killian. What I originally read well, I didn't read this in like 2012. I read this over like the past 2 years. Rebecca Hall was originally supposed to be the lead villain, and Feige or Disney, whoever, like shot that whole shit down, and she just got, taken back to what she ended up being.
Which was a waste.
Yeah.
I'm into like wasted characters.
Yeah.
And Randy, you talk about that trailer. What did the Mandarin say in the trailer? Which now we know.
Hey man, don't be trying to cut off my argument, man. I don't give a fuck who we saw coming. You'll never see me coming. And everything, and I absolutely hate when he ghost ride the Iron Man suits. The whole in the air saving everybody, like that shit was cool. But when I was like crushed when I saw at first I was like, fuck, he got hit by a car. And then it's like, oh, he wasn't even in the suit. Womp womp. Yeah. But it's like, but you gotta like watch Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, watch The Nice Guys, even The Predator. Shane Black makes an amazing movie. Call it what it is. Like Iron Man 3 is one of the most well-made MCU movies across all 22, 23, 24, however many we got. But that reveal killed that shit for me. That was like the best MCU movie up to that point in 2013 to my least favorite at that time. But months later and now, my least favorite MCU movie is Thor: The Dark World because that's the all-time weakest villain in the whole universe.
Yeah, it's yeah. So you like Iron Man 3 a lot, and
I can still watch it and I have appreciation for it.
Yeah.
But and then like it's like why we only get Iron Patriot for that one movie?
Yeah, that's true. And it basically made fun of him, which would probably what would happen in real life, but.
Yeah.
But, that kind of speaks to...
And I hate that kid. I hate that little kid, and I hate that he was in Endgame. No disrespect to Ty Simpkins.
You know what's funny about that? That joke, like I Love You in a Christmas Story.
Was Peter
Ralphie
Billingsley
is in
involved?
The MCU.
Yeah. He's in Spider-Man Far From Home. And
Iron Man.
I'm about to say, was he in the original Iron Man?
I realized he was the dude in Iron Man.
Yeah.
Far From Home. Like,
Tony Stark made this out of a box of scraps.
Yeah. Like, oh, wait, was that Ralphie?
And they brought him back after, 11 years?
Yeah. I guess
that's
he
wild.
and, like, Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn are, like, really good friends.
Yeah.
So they're all each other's movies.
Ralphie directed, I want to say, Couples Retreat.
Yeah.
Really?
He was in the breakup before Christmas. Like, Elf.
Crazy.
Like, he's in all of those movies. But he's not like
The Dark World.
Actor. He's just only ever doing stuff like that.
And who was it? Was Thomas Kretschmann the villain in The Dark World? And he said he had like a shitty experience. The elf, the dark elf. I can't remember his name right now.
Well, I think he was talking about more so, and this is what I was about to get into. People with Marvel Studios, we look at them and like, oh, they can do no wrong for the most part, and this and that. But they had a little section where they were making questionable, like Iron Man 2 and Thor: The Dark World. A lot of his performance was on the cut room floor because they actually came and reshot a lot of stuff with Loki because he became big shit.
Yeah.
And even the director said he didn't have a good experience with and plus it wasn't Natalie Portman like doing a movie against her will.
Yeah, like she wanted Patty Jenkins.
The woman director.
She wanted Patty Jenkins and got super butthurt when they didn't hire her. So yeah, she was kind of like, though she was
actually hired and they fired her.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Still, after seeing Wonder Woman, she should have got to do Thor.
Right, and this is messed up. The director, he was a Game of Thrones guy. The director.
He did Terminator Genesis.
And he said something that's jacked up. He said he had a more pleasant experience making that than he did The Dark World. And have you seen Terminator Genesis?
Oh wait, he had a better experience on Terminator than Thor?
Yes, that's what he said.
I believe it. I mean, he had one of his Game of Thrones actors in there. I'm sure Arnold Schwarzenegger is always a cut up on set. It was probably a fun movie to make. It just fucked up
Yeah,
the
it didn't.
Terminator series.
It was a
Right,
fun
but-
movie to watch too.
Hey,
It
but
is. It's-
he
Everyone
did.
be nice to
He did
Terminator
Sopranos and shit. Like he's been doing a lot of HBO shows for a while.
yeah, but no, it's yeah, the Thor in the Dark World. It's not. The thing is, it's not a bad movie necessarily.
There's things in the Dark World that I love. Like that's why I don't put it last. Like it's one of the weaker. It might even be like the weakest MCU movie. Like, but like there's parts of it that I just love, and so I can't put it last like everyone else. Like I love Thor. Like all the Thor movies to me are just like I don't know. Because like the first Thor movie was to me it was like the proving ground of the MCU. Like that was the one that I was like, this isn't gonna work. Like this is gonna be weird. They're not like the Rainbow Road. Like how are they even gonna do that? Like that's not gonna. And like it all, like the first Thor, like it all worked for me. Like I was like, oh my god, this kid, like this is so good. So I was more excited for the Dark World, I think, than I even was like Iron Man 3. Like I was just like, I am so ready to do that again. And like in the Avengers, like I was more excited for Thor to show up. Like when he showed up on the plane, it was like 40 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
Like I was like, yeah, fucking finally. Like I was so excited. So I don't know. There's something about the Dark World. Like I don't think the villains are that bad. Like everyone else does. Eric's like looking around, like
no, somebody keeps.
I don't think they're that bad. Like they're weak. He's a weak villain, but like
Yeah.
like they kill his mom. Like a weak villain doesn't do that. Like the Abomination from the Hulk, like he could never. He didn't kill anybody's mom. But, like I don't know.
That's funny. You know, I kind of like. Speaking of in Civil War, when General Ross he names all the places that they supposedly messed up, and how he conveniently leaves out Harlem, which is something he caused.
Yeah,
I just wanted to throw that in there. Nobody talks about that.
Yo, like, I'm on Wikipedia, man. Alan Taylor is directing the Many Saints of Newark too. He might finally do a good movie. Hey, that was a little more savage than I intended. I can't hate Thor: The Dark World because it has an Infinity Stone. Like it's an important movie.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
But
like,
it's still last.
Well, it's not really a stone. It's more like a sludge. You know why you're calling it that?
Right. I don't know why everybody keeps calling it a stone.
About the Thor, like I love Anthony Hopkins as Odin. Like I just like the casting of the Thor movies was so good to me, and like
Kat Dennings, apologist.
Loki, like you said, like Loki became like a bigger deal after
Fucking
the Avengers.
rock star.
And I remember watching, the Dark World. Like it was almost like watching The Dark Knight. Like every scene, not to that extent, but like every scene, like Heath Ledger would be in The Dark Knight. It was like you were more excited for that scene. Like the first time it was kind of like that with Loki in The Dark World. Like the beginning of that movie was like him in the handcuffs. I remember being like real excited, like, ooh, like what's gonna happen? That's the storyline I care about. And I thought they did really well with his character in The Dark World. So much so that they killed him and then were like, shit. let's undo that. Like why not?
Yeah.
But I feel like we talked about like 10 Marvel movies when we were only going to talk about like 2 of them.
Yeah, I don't even. Weren't we talking about Iron Man 2 and 3?
Yeah, I mean, there's such a short discussion.
The Dark World.
As
we talk about Marvel stuff, and like I'll just keep talking.
Yeah.
Like if we don't stop.
It's my favorite franchise. I'm not stopping anybody from talking about the MCU.
Star Wars and like The Walking Dead last time. Just like if we don't stop talking about it, like I'll keep talking about it. I don't care.
So is the David Fincher controversy? Is it more about what he said, or like Eric was talking about on Twitter, idiots only reading the headline?
Yeah, it's probably a combination of the article or whatever it was interesting, but
clickbait.
Yeah, it's the specific thing that was trending on Twitter was they were saying, oh, Fincher said Joker movie betrays the mentally ill. I'm like, oh my god,
Right,
just
right.
2 more sentences would have cleared that right up. What he actually said.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, but yeah, like David Fincher it's. I mean, it's good for him. It's giving his promotion for his new movie on the Mank or whatever. So it's whatever they think.
The dude who Gary Oldman plays that like wrote Citizen Kane or whatever was involved in a lot of those early Bond movies, and he directed the Tom Hanks Dan Aykroyd Dragnet.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You know that? I don't think so. I'm gonna pretend I did.
I like that movie. I like Dragnet. That's
To me, it's just like the Scorsese thing last year, like talking about Marvel. I think people read the headlines, they might even read the articles. And it's almost like the outrage comes from like, I can't believe someone would say that
about something I like.
Like thinking of whether or not it's true.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like, you come out and you say it was a betrayal of the mentally ill. Everyone's like, oh my God, I loved the movie.
Yeah.
Don't say something about something that I loved. That means I might be wrong. It's like, maybe he watched that. Like, even, like, take away any, like, it's like, maybe he watched it and maybe that's what he thought. Like, that doesn't mean he's wrong.
Exactly.
Like, that's how he saw that movie. Not wrong. It's like Scorsese says, to me, that's not cinema. It's not wrong. Like, if that's not to him, like, that's his opinion.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know, like, Joker won, was nominated for this Oscar and that Oscar and 1,000 Oscars. Like, obviously, like, enough people liked it and it made enough of a cultural impact that, like, it's not like his opinion is going to damage that movie forever.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what he saw.
Right. Breaking news. Joaquin Phoenix turns down Joker sequels because of David Fincher's comments.
Yeah, like, that's not going to happen. Like,
no.
Even if you take away the context, which, like Eric said, like, there's more context to his quote.
Right.
To me, like, my biggest takeaway of that little quote was he says, that kind of movie, like, wouldn't have even been made without, the Dark Knight's success.
Right.
I thought that last year when everyone was, like, freaking out about Joker. Oh my God, it was amazing. Like, I thought Joker was great. It was a great accomplishment for a film. But I thought, like, to me, it's like they say, it's like the Dark Knight walked so Joker could run. I was like, everything, Heath Ledger did with that character has expanded how we look at that character in the 12 years since that came out. So, anything they do with Joker, like from even like the cartoon movies to like, how many graphic novels have been written since the Dark Knight, like serious Joker. Like the Arkham Asylum games have come out since the Dark Knight. Like, all of that is like, look at my serious Joker.
Yeah.
Like, look how seriously I took the Joker this time. That was the biggest takeaway for me. I was like, yeah, like the Dark Knight wasn't the first thing to do that, but it was the first movie, like the first mainstream, like,
right,
that everyone saw that like really took the Joker like in this direction, like that made you question like mental illness, or is that what mental illness is, So I liked that part of the quote, because I felt like clawed their eyes out over Joker like it was this big work of originality. Not that it wasn't, but it was, it wasn't.
Right. And so you basically got what he actually said.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah.
And he said that he was surprised that it would take from the Dark Knight and make a movie diving into how mentally ill people are failed, how they're treated wrong.
Yeah.
That's what he was actually said. He said that they are portrayed, and not the movie portrays the mentally ill.
Yeah.
That's how people were reading it. And he's saying, I'm like, oh my God, y'all just fucking read.
Yeah.
No, yeah. People don't read articles.
When Joker came out, a lot of people looked at it. Some people loved it. Like, people, clawed their eyes out. Was like, oh my God, it's amazing. Oh my God, I've never seen such a deep character work. A lot of other people were like, immediately before seeing it, I was like, this looks like Incel the movie. Like they were just like, oh, this is all two. They were just like, this is just like angry white guy does this.
It looked like,
And,
to me, it looked like some
you know,
movie called Taxi Driver.
whatever that is. But yeah, it's, you know, he looked at it as not like they're making an excuse for this behavior.
Yeah.
It's like more so like this is what happens. Like you fail, like the society or whatever, like fails someone who's obviously like mentally unstable. It's not that like you deserve this and society deserves this. Like that's the cringy opinion, but it's like that's how I took his quote. It's like it's a betrayal of the mentally ill, not the movie itself. But maybe it is. Like maybe it is, but maybe that movie just sucks, and we're all just maybe we're all just reading the quote. I want to know his opinion on Jared Leto's Joker.
No shit, right?
Somebody else would be like, what do you think of Suicide Squad?
Well, hopefully we'll see it when we see the air cut.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we had this discussion before a year ago where Nick was saying the same thing about the Snyder cut. Like,
Yeah.
No, that was, I don't know. But it's like, I was like, the Snyder cut, like, I was kind of right. I don't, like, it didn't fully exist. Although, they're saying he only filmed, like, 4 minutes of new footage.
Nah, see, that's another, like,
no,
clickbait headline fabrication.
Yeah.
But when I read that, I feel like he's probably, like, exaggerating. Like, he's like, maybe, like, 4 minutes. Like, he's not saying I only shot 4 minutes of new footage.
Right. But definitely, I mean, the movie wasn't completed.
Yeah.
Obviously. But then again, you know, what's his name? We made a whole nother new movie, basically. But I think what they're doing with this, why not take the opportunity? He's basically making his 2-part movie that he wanted to make it first.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, Justice League, right?
Yeah.
So
they
I
did
think that's
say
why it's going to be, 4 hours. Why the hell not? And
whether it's like the yacht post-credit scene or whether it's like some new shit, supposedly they're gonna tweak Joker's look for the Snyder cut.
Yeah. But
you can only do so much. Like you can't remove that from our brains.
Nah.
Like he had the tattoos and the teeth.
Right.
Whatever a road weary Joker looks like.
I'm excited. So,
yeah.
Who knows when that'll come out? That'll come out before Wonder Woman.
It probably
will. Well, it's gonna be on HBO Max. So.
Yeah, man. See, Mank comes out on Netflix in December.
Back to that, I feel like. But I was just gonna say, like, I feel like almost like they're gonna wait and see how well Justice League does on HBO Max,
and then the air cut
decision on Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
but not to backtrack too hard. David Fincher, great guy.
I think his other the other headlines were like he made a comment about Orson Welles, and it's like he kind of knows the guy, man. How long's he been working on Mank, man? Like it's all about Orson Welles and Citizen Kane and all that shit. And then he's gonna do the cancel culture show, so he can show all y'all how insane you look.
I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. Like if I was a director and someone's like, "Want to make a movie about cancel culture?" I'd be like, "Absolutely not."
I'm surprised there's not a hashtag trending already that says "cancel David Fincher."
Absolutely not. I'm not trying to get canceled for some shit.
Cancel me. I don't give a fuck.
Absolutely.
I think we nearing the end. Cause like Mank comes out in December, so we can't really do a Fincher conversation next episode, like about his filmography.
Yeah.
And in December, like I don't know how many episodes. Like I said, I don't know how many episodes in December. We could do Die Hard for one of those, and then one of those got to be the end of this shit show of a year.
In memoriam.
Yeah. Cause we gonna have to do like a top 3, cause There's good movies to talk about, but there's not like that many movies. Like my number one of the year before COVID is still my number one for 2020.
I think mine has moved one spot since March.
What you
I had
got?
number one.
What you got over Onward or The Way Back? I don't remember what your number one was.
The Chicago 7 movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but even that's like not by much.
Y'all know
like,
me in
that's
Netflix
a
movies.
movie, but like in a normal year, like that wouldn't be the best picture. But who knows? Maybe it would. I don't know.
But see, like, Run is coming, Super Intelligence is coming. Like, all these good movies are coming on streaming. Like, Mank is coming. I don't know.
Mank is playing at my theater, like downtown, now, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'll just go see it.
I'm about to say, and you haven't went to watch that shit?
But I mean, it's like if Netflix was free.
Yeah.
Wait. I don't know.
See, but I think I still would have watched The Irishman in the theater, too. And Soul comes out Christmas Day. Like, there's a few movies that I can't really, like, cement my list yet.
Did y'all know, did y'all know Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross were doing the music for Soul?
I think I had seen it, like, when they announced that cast. I had seen that shit.
I was watching the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing yesterday, and it was like 9 Inch Nails were inducted, and they were talking about the movies he did, and I was like trying to remind myself of other movies he did other than David Fincher, and it was just like Soul 2020.
2020.
Ew. But like at the same time, like it's probably gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah. But anyway, random.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Nah.
Kill the dead air. Yeah, I mean, I guess we're done. Like, I'm bad at like ending segments. It wasn't really like we had like 2 good discussions with some mini discussions in there. I'll figure out what's up.
We got a lot of good discussions. They're all good discussions.
They always are, Nicholas.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'll figure out what we're gonna do in 2 weeks, where we'll just cook it up like we did today. I'm gonna talk about the sports, talk about this BustaRhymes album or whatever I do for music, because the day of recording I still don't even know. It's Rec League, man. All right, man. It's recently been announced by Woj, by Shams, pretty sure confirmed by the NBA. They wouldn't post it if it wasn't confirmed. The NBA already has a game plan in place to start next season on December 22nd. No schedules, no games have been announced. They got dates that they project everything to go down. I hit a couple of them. Obviously, December 20. Well, first, I think they can trade. They can start trading probably before this episode gets uploaded. This Wednesday is the draft. Friday, free agents can talk. Next Sunday, free agents can sign. December 22nd, like I said, that's when the season's going to start. The All-Star break is from March 5th to the 10th, but there's no All-Star game. You know, just Indianapolis, right? Hopefully every All-Star game that's already announced just gets pushed back one season and Indy gets the 2022 All-Star game. The end of the regular season, May 16th. I assume that this is gonna be like the Portland-Memphis game in the bubble from May 17th to 21st. It says play-in tournament for 7 to 10 seeds. I don't exactly know what that means. Is it they're not gonna make like a 10 seed playoff bracket? I would assume not. So maybe it's just like the bubble where the teams seeded have a chance to make the 7th and 8th seed in their conference based on, you know what I'm saying, how it went down in the bubble. So they're going to just keep pushing forward with that. That could be fun with, I mean, not every stadium is going to allow fans. Obviously, the Lakers have already said no fans this season. But like the Pacers, the Colts have fans. Why can't the Pacers? The playoffs are gonna start May 22nd. The finals are gonna be July 8th to the 22nd, and then they want that to be over. They're still assuming that they're still assuming that the Olympics are gonna happen next summer. But if say Lakers Heat meet in the finals next summer for a rematch, like LeBron, Anthony Davis, Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, whoever makes the finals next season, they're not gonna want to play on the Olympic team, because then I assume the 2021-2022 season is gonna start regular time. That's literally no downtime. There's no time to recuperate and recharge for the following season. I think it's wild that one NBA season is going to end and another is going to begin, and it's all going to be at the same stretch as a current NFL season. Like, that's just weird stuff I think about. I mean, I love NBA basketball, so bring it. You know what I mean? It kind of like it. I'm thinking about guys like LeBron and the way that this schedule got altered, and the way the next season is gonna start, and when it's gonna end, and then when the following season is gonna end. That's like that, man. That feels like cramming like 3 seasons of basketball into like 2 years. So like I don't know, that's like an odd end to his career, all because of the coronavirus. And then these rookies who are gonna have, and free agents, team players to get traded, rookies, players to get traded, players that free agents sign. They're not gonna have a lot of time to adapt to their new teams, man. It's gonna be a hectic start to the season. I think teams that are projected, like James Harden is in trade rumors right now, and it's like, hypothetically, if James Harden gets traded, that team is not gonna be good until like let's say Harden goes to the Nets. They played last year with half the season, 3/4 of the season without Kyrie. They haven't played with KD yet, and if they get Harden, they're like, it's gonna take them until like February to really start to click. I wonder if Harden gets traded. I wonder if Westbrook would stay in Houston, because if he wants to be the man and doesn't really care about chasing a championship, he'd be the man in Houston. Yeah, like, I'm excited that basketball is coming back so soon. I think it sucks for teams like the Lakers and the Heat, the Celtics, the Nuggets, who played late into the bubble, obviously trying to win a championship, but they got a shorter offseason compared to teams that didn't make the bubble, who have been off since March. They almost had a full year off. I mean, yeah, like drop a comment, hit me on the voice message if you on Anchor, Spotify, whatever. If you're watching the video, drop a comment, man. What do you think about the NBA coming back so soon? When I come back, I'm gonna spit something for y'all. Then I'm gonna talk about that BustaRhymes, or possibly something else, man. Rec League, baby. Yo, what's this, bro, man? The women's is luscious. Decision making, fuck it. It's a wrap as soon as she tug it. Y'all should see all the points that my Jimmy buckets. It's nothing. There is zero competition. I get marching orders and then accomplish my mission. Always score. These other boys, Danny Green missing. Check my fresh. My suits talk to me. Got a Jarvis vision. The hardest in it. My bars exquisite. Take the charge. Balls ours, ref, not a hard decision. Pumpkin carve incision. Trying to set up a Cars on Mars convention. It's common sense. I am that guy. I am that fly. You fly as Mike Pence. So much flow. Oh my, I am drenched. Retire the mic. I'm the fucking best. Pardon my French. Yo, I'm gonna put a cap on this episode right quick. I told y'all it was gonna come back. If it's just me, I can do shorter episodes. I got guests and we converse. We get off topic. We come back to the topic. Actually forgot it. Hoes money. I'm the shit. Oh yeah, I'm reminded. But if it's just me, yeah, like I can do shorter shit. It's a little boring because it's just me talking. hoping that you guys care. But hip hop. BustaRhymes dropped the album the day before Halloween, and I've been playing it for the past couple weeks. I got a few spins out of it. Javon loved this album. I think Jake felt similar to me, but it's not a bad album. Like, BustaRhymes is a legend. First, this album is 22 tracks. The Reloaded album is 26 tracks. In 2020, man, that's way too long. BustaRhymes always has his overall theme to what he's doing, and ELE, Extinction Level Event 2, The Wrath of God. And he's kind of been like on some DMX, kind of like having religious themes to his stuff. And like, in the intro to outro to BustaRhymes, he's always like telling a story, talking to like a sibling or something, or a child, a sibling, my ass. He's talking to like a kid and explaining that the world doesn't have much longer to exist, and then he has like different types of songs. Like, he has songs with bars, he has club stuff, he has deep introspective stuff, and this album is feature heavy. BustaRhymes always been one to pay attention to show love to legends. He got Rakim, he got Pete Rock, he got MOP, he got ODB, he got Q-Tip, and then Mariah Carey, Mary J, and then one of them bonus tracks has Eminem. Like, he has legends on his stuff. Chris Rock is on this album. Chris Rock is on at least 4 or 5 different tracks. I didn't find Chris Rock like overly annoying. Like, between Fargo and that new Saw movie coming out, and now this BustaRhymes album, like, Chris Rock is doing things. But toward the end, I don't remember if it was Freedom or Satanic, one of the last 2 tracks. Like, around the end, Chris Rock started to wear on my nerves. There is, I want to say, Best I Can with Rhapsody. That's probably my favorite track on the whole album. He's rapping, like she's rapping about giving him a hard time raising a kid, and he's talking about he's doing the best he can. And like, I don't even have kids, and that hit me. Like, that track resonated with me. Everybody freaked out about the Kendrick Lamar feature. I thought it was fine. Like, I like Kendrick, but I don't go nuts every time Kendrick shows up on somebody's album. And yeah, like, in Twitter, social media overrated that track. He tried to recreate some magic with Q-Tip, with Mariah Carey. Rick Ross is on the album. Rick Ross and BustaRhymes do not have good chemistry, man. Rick Ross does not sound good on a BustaRhymes song. I'm not a huge Anderson .Paak fan. He was on the hook to one of the singles, and then where's it at? Vibes Cartel was on the other one. I think they got kind of like a Beanie Man, kind of a reggae vibe to their stuff. But yeah, man. Overall, I thought this album was solid. Overall, I think this BustaRhymes album is a 3 out of 5, and I don't want to put my man's on blast when he's not here to defend himself. But like I said that BustaRhymes is a 3. And Javon freaked out. Like I said, it was a 1 or a 2. It's a solid album. Like, I haven't been head over heels in love with a BustaRhymes album since The Big Bang. I feel like back on my BS, he went for the radio jams. He went for the popular features that would get spins and attention, and he did some of that on this too. Like, there's a couple club songs that I think sound too like current and trying to resonate with the young listener. And I ain't mad at somebody like an old head legend trying to reach out to the youth and get some new fans, like you know, get your money. But for me, like somebody that grew up in the '90s and 2000s, and that's my era of hip hop, like I discovered and fell in love with hip hop around the time BustaRhymes came out, and like I said, I love the Big Bang, I love Anarchy, I love Genesis, I love It Ain't Safe No More. Like BustaRhymes' discography has classic jams. I just like in 5 months, I don't see myself spinning ELE 2. Um, but if you like this album, drop a comment, drop a voice message. If you didn't like whatever you thought about this BustaRhymes, man, react to it. Let me know. React to anything we talked about on this episode today, movie wise, sports wise. Criticize my bars if you want. Talk about this BustaRhymes, man. Like, subscribe, comment. You know what I'm saying? We'll be back in 2 weeks. So y'all just sit back and chill until the next episode.